great 45 minutes of information, maybe a little bit less than that, and then some opportunity and time for the attendees to do a little bit of Q&A. So we'll be getting started here right at about 12:05. We usually give about 3 or 4 minutes to folks to kind of get situated. Sometimes folks can run a little bit late, which is fine, no problem. We should have plenty of time to run quickly through some of the information aspects of this, a little bit of background overall about the Ascend program. We have a fantastic partner and collaborator once again. This will be our second running with the fantastic folks at SeedSpot. We got Tristan Gandolfi and we got Drew the Fantastic, who will be here representing on the team here for SeedSpot. Then I myself, Russell Shire from Wakef, will be leading things. But yeah, we got a great presentation. Hopefully we'll be able to share all the information that folks were curious about, want to know about, get more background information on with regard to the Wakef program for Ascend in collaboration with, once again, our fantastic partner, SeedSpot. So we're here at about 12:03, right around about 12:05 or so. We'll be jumping right into things. And just to share a little bit of information, the session today will be recorded. And once it's recorded, probably sometime next week, it'll be up on our website. So if folks forgot to catch something, or if there's a question that wasn't able to be answered, or they wanted to go back and listen to a particular piece of information that they weren't able to catch, or if for some reason you need to jump because you have another priority appointment or meeting or something else that's needing you to be in attendance to, this will be recorded and it will be living on the website and it will be accessible to you for the rest of the application period, which we'll go into just momentarily, but we'll be closing the applications down on August 17th. So once again, just as an FYI, this session will be recorded and it will be living on our website and it will be available to you for reference purposes to look at any parts of it and as often as you like. So once again, give a couple minutes here, we'll get jumped right in. And thank you for your patience and looking forward to having a conversation with you all here momentarily. All right. Good afternoon again to folks. Ross Wilshire here with WAKIF, Washington Area Community Investment Fund, here to provide a little bit of information today with regards to the Ascend Retail Accelerator Program. I'm going to ask two of my colleagues just to show their faces real quick so you can see faces to the names and the voices as we go through the presentation today. I'd like to invite to come off camera, if it's possible, Tristan and Drew. Just want to see your wonderful faces for uh, the folks here who are attending out in the DMV sphere in the various parts of the world that they've been beamed into. So, folks, just want to share these collaborators. Drew will jump into him a little bit later on. He'll be the individual, the fantastic individual who will be actually facilitating the cohort sessions and the workshops that will be taking place during the course of the program. And Tristan's one of the folks that I'm working intimately with in terms of coordinating, organizing, and making sure things like today's information session goes hopefully relatively well. So just want to show you and let you introduce to the folks. And if you guys want to just chime in, give a little bit of background on yourself, so I think that'd be fantastic. I'll let Tristan go first, and Drew, if you want to follow, that'd be great.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Rasul. Tristan Gandolfi here. I work for an organization called SeedSpot. SeedSpot is an educational nonprofit that works with impact-driven entrepreneurs, so people creating community change or global change. Drew is one of our alumni, and you'll get to hear about him in a second, but he is also an amazing facilitator. And he very much so has built a retail brand company from the ground up, empathizes with all of you in this room, and is an amazing, amazing facilitator. So, as mentioned, I will be kind of hidden. I'll be making sure that the curriculum's ready and the emails are ready and the communications are ready. So today is the only chance I think you'll get to see me, and then I become like in the Wizard of Oz, the wizard behind the curtain, and I pass it over to Drew, who really takes the lead. And so I'll do so now. Drew, go ahead.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tristan. Yeah, so as Tristan said, I have worked with SeatSpot in a number of different capacities, building my brand voice threads. I am what you call a serial entrepreneur. I do too many things at one time, but that just helps me to inform you during this process as well. So I really empathize. I get it, but I feel a passion about this kind of work because I know what it's done for me personally. So I put a lot of investment into the facilitating these workshops. So you'll be seeing my face a lot. So if you get into the program, just get used to seeing this mug, and we'll have a fantastic time together. So looking forward to hearing your questions and hopefully seeing some of you really soon.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks so much. So we're going to jump into the presentation here, folks. I'm going to grab a screen share and we'll pull the presentation up and we'll get things started here, get this party going, as they say. All righty. Oops. Direction here. All right, that's where we need to be. All right, we are in the right place now. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So once again, thank you all today for being present for today's information session. As we mentioned, then just introductions from both Tristan and Drew to this year's Ascend Capital Accelerator Program is in partnership with SeedSpot. And we'll be walking through the program today, a little bit high level about who WAKIF is and what we provide to the entrepreneurs we serve. And then we'll be providing some time as well for Drew and Tristan to be speaking a little bit about the program and sort of the expectations from the participants end of things as it comes to this year's accelerator program. So for today's agenda, there's going to be a little bit of information about us, about WAKIF, and then also about SeedSpot. We'll share a little bit of history of the Capital Accelerator Program, some of the values that we have as an organization, and also specifically as it pertains to the program. We talk about some of the alumni that have gone through the program and high level in terms of where they're at, what they're doing, and some of the brands they've been connected with and participating and have brand collaborations with. A little bit of the program overview, the eligibility, definitely the core and important aspects of this, expectations from the participants, the overall timeline from the program from beginning to end, and then Q&A at the end to answer any questions that you all may have. So, with respect to WAKIF, for us, we really work in three particular areas in terms of how we show up for the clients that we serve and the work that we've been doing here since 1987. And really our core areas that we really try to focus on, social capital, knowledge capital, financial capital. And we really try to focus on those three things intentionally. Those are the areas that really feel that when there's dedicated resources to and dedicated resources for, we can really provide exponential opportunities, exponential growth, and exponential just development opportunities for the entrepreneurs we serve when we're very much focused on how do we enhance and develop that social capital and provide that knowledge capital, and of course, being able to provide that fuel, that financial resources that help the businesses develop and grow. Our mission is really driven by three strategic areas, three strategic focus. That's kind of like the umbrella over which everything kind of encapsulates from the work that we do here at WAKIF. And we really focus on inclusive entrepreneurship, community wealth building, and equitable economic development. And those are really the core areas that kind of drive the strategic decisions we make, the partners that we work with, and the initiatives that we pursue. They have to be in alignment with these three very specific issues and areas. Business financing, advisory services, training, and community building are sort of like the core areas in which WAKIF focuses on. Of course, the business financing, that's lending for businesses and being able to provide that lending capital. Advisory services, really a lot of our consultation arm and the technical assistance that we provide. Ascend is a part of that. Once again, in a number of different ways, we provide expertise and insights on a lot of different aspects in business modeling, business model development, financing strategies, things of that nature. And of course, training that takes a form of workshops. Ascend Cohort, once again, is under that umbrella as well, and a number of different other areas and programs that we are building, developing here on the WAKIF side. And one of the core and most critical and important pieces to any ecosystem of entrepreneurship is community building. You know, how do we provide these opportunities for networks to take place, networking to happen, and once again, building those relationships that can help entrepreneurs continue to build, develop, and thrive their enterprises and their companies. In terms of what we specifically focus on in terms of actual programming and educational training, we here at WAKIF have a framework which really consists of 6 core areas: capital readiness and financial management, marketing, branding, digital engagement, strategy, community building, as I just mentioned, advisory services, and arts and culture. And within these 6 areas, we really develop our programming, we facilitate our partnerships, and in these specific lenses, the directions in terms of sort of our true north, in terms of how we bring, build, and develop these resources to support the entrepreneurs that we work with and the entrepreneurs that we serve and support in a myriad of capacities. So from here, I'm going to pass the microphone to our team over at CSpot to share a little bit about what they're about and what they do and sort of how they show up as well for entrepreneurs.
You're the best. Thank you, Russell. So, SeedSpot, we are an educational nonprofit, and our goal is to educate, accelerate, and invest in entrepreneurs who are creating solutions to social problems, right? These are bringing businesses to main streets and parts of town that need to be revitalized. This is supporting some of the most amazing human beings with businesses that often don't have access to quality education, mentorship, or you name it. And so we do this work in partnership with WAKIF, the team at WAKIF, and we have built a custom curriculum that will guide you through basically taking your amazing business and turn it into something ideally that is self-sustaining, revenue strong, and really vitalizing not only your world, but the world around you. SeedSpot has existed, Russell, next slide, please, for almost 15 years, which is crazy. In our 15 years, here are just some statistics about the good work that we do and that we consistently annually do. This is what our alumni are accomplishing out in the world. So we're looking at 421 million in revenue generated, and that's both for and nonprofit businesses, right? So this could be fees for service. These could be for your consumer packaged goods. We're also looking at $206 million in total capital raised. Now, again, this could be for-profit or nonprofit. In the for-profit space, maybe it was doing a investment round, and in nonprofit, it could be large grants, large partnerships. In our almost 15 years of existence, we have supported 9,914 jobs being created in the world, which is amazing. So not only your impact, but the people that you're hiring, training, and supporting within your communities. 83% of our entrepreneurs are underrepresented. And in the past year alone, just the past year, we worked with about 4,000 entrepreneurs globally. And 70% of those entrepreneurs are of color. So we are doing this work day in, day out through programs. And we're super excited about the custom program that we built with WAKIF around really those makers, those creators, specifically in the DMV space. Thank you, Russell. Russell, you are muted. You might be talking to me. I'm not quite sure, but you, sir, are muted.
There we go. Computer was doing some weird things here, and I was just like, "Where is my mute button?" So, once again, thank you, Tristan, for sharing that information here. One of the things I just wanted to give some quick information on the context around of the challenge that our Extend Accelerator program was really addressing when we first created the program back in 2017. We'll get back to that in just a second. So I won't go into the details here because I think in a lot of ways, one of our audience members and will grow familiar with just in terms of the wealth gap that exists in our communities. And when we developed the program in 2017, we just were very, very, very familiar with that reality. And so there's numerous ways, of course, to address the wealth gap in our community. And for WAKIF, we said that one of the ways that we wanted to really deal with that was entrepreneurship and support for entrepreneurial businesses, entrepreneurial individuals in this entrepreneurial ecosystem. So one of the reasons we wanted to focus on that was we're well aware that in many of our communities, there's not this extended amount of resources through venture capital relationships or just these unending, so to speak, resources of financial reserves. Often folks might have, maybe some thousands of dollars in savings to some degree, a little bit of money saved up, maybe a friend or two, family members here and there. And in addition, there's also the GoFundMe opportunities and things of that nature with this crowdfunding. But traditionally, there aren't these extensive reserves of spaces to go and find these networks of support. So essentially creating that space, and how do we look at the gap in terms of community support, community investment, community capital, retail capital, financial capital, relationship capital, all these types of things which traditionally have not been extended spaces of support for our community. So that's one of the reasons why our Ascend Accelerator kind of came into being. In terms of this belief system, in terms of what we think about intentionality and ideas around building out the Ascend Accelerator capital program, we really feel that if the investments that we put forth were really developed and contribute with intentionality, as we talked about earlier, that knowledge, social, and economic and financial capital, it can really be that much more catalytic. With intention and with dedication and with strategic focus, it could really be a force for good in terms of serving and supporting entrepreneurs as it pertains to growing and developing business. So with the Extend Capital Accelerator program, we really believe that it would be an actor, so to speak, in the entrepreneurial ecosystem to help leveling the playing field in certain respects. And being able to be a support mechanism and a support platform for underinvested entrepreneurs. And so that's really a big part of the backdrop and the foundation in terms of what we believe as an organization and what we believe we're trying to accomplish, we can accomplish through the Ascend Accelerator program. And another reason why is also because in a lot of ways there's plenty of resources developed and put together for entrepreneurs that focus specifically on tech solutions. Even though a lot of tech drives a lot of our work, obviously. But what about those entrepreneurs that are in retail, those entrepreneurs that might be in healthcare, those entrepreneurs that may be in media or maybe regular consultants or have mainstream businesses that might not be specifically focusing on the tech stack or technology specifically for efficiency purposes. So once again, the Ascend Capital Accelerator is built to develop for these mainstream entrepreneurs. They're really focused on everyday solutions, and their exit goal, or maybe necessarily their strategy, was to develop the business, become a quote unicorn, and then sell. Maybe they wanted to build a business because it's a lifestyle enterprise or something they wanted to pass on to a family or a friend or what have you, or something they simply enjoy because it provides the kind of lifestyle that they want. So the Ascend Capital Accelerator really provides that type of support and that type of resources and orientation to help those type of entrepreneurs invested and interested in those kinds of companies, those kinds of outlets.
Russell, real quick, it sounds
Absolutely.
your sound right now is coming in and out a little bit. We've got some comments from the Q&A that your volume or audio is low, and it sounds a little bit like you're underwater.
How about now? Am I still sounding underwater? It might just be a connection issue. It's a
Yeah,
lot better now.
it still sounds a bit underwater. The people want to hear you. Give the people what they want.
I hear you. I want to be heard as well. And sometimes it seems that for whatever reason, maybe my connection is not great. What I can do is I'll move to let me see here. All right. How about now? Testing is still not good. Okay. Testing. Coming. But it's still not.
We are going to switch devices.
Kind of fast efficient.
I'm happy to jump in here. Yep, if you want to go ahead, power on through. Let me talk a bit about the program. This is why we make a dream team, right? This is why we can come together. So as mentioned, this program, we're running it for a second time. And I want to give you a quick program overview. So it's a total of 7 weeks. Right now, if you've not done so already, you can go on and apply to be part of this program. It is application based. There's a few questions to fill out. And we are selecting around 20 participants for this cohort. Now, the very first day of classes are going to start in September, and then the classes that follow that, right? We have 7 weeks of instructions. We'll meet twice a week for about 90 minutes each class, and each week, I think of this like Legos, right? So each topic we kind of build upon the next, so that at the end of the program, we can really celebrate your learning. Now, what's super exciting is this is a hybrid program, which means in the beginning, we have a kickoff where we all come together, whether it be the applicants, the participants, the mentors, members of the WakeIF and SeatSpot team will all be on site. And if there's one thing that WakeIF does well, it is throw a party. So we will kick the program off in style. And then from there, we'll go virtual. Our classes will be held over Zoom. And as you can see in week 1, we have foundations, right? This is where we talk about things like your elevator pitch, because at the end of the program, we're going to throw a celebration where you give that polished pitch. You'll also in week 1 be introduced to our amazing mentors. So all participants of this program will be custom matched one-on-one with a mentor that is hand selected based on your unique needs, right? right? And so this might be, you might identify, hey, I need support with sales. And we're going to find a mentor that's got sales acumen to be alongside of you throughout the program. In week 2, we go into customer. So that's your competitive analysis. It's what your value proposition is. You'll look at your unique categories of customers and you'll do a bit of an empathy map. Like, what do your customers really need? What do they want? And then how do you deliver based on your solution? In week 3, we're going to start to dive into those retail strategies, right? So, how are you going to approach retail? How are you going to grow in retail? How are you going to price so that you're competitive and you can sell as much product as possible? Week 4, marketing. Drew, isn't it everybody's favorite? Everybody loves marketing. I think it's because it's kind of like your fingerprint for the business, right? It's your brands, it's your colors, it's who you are and how you show up when you're not around, right? Online, in Instagram. And so during those classes, we'll talk about your brand, your mission, and even how to like activate spaces as a company. So I'm thinking about things like farmers markets or pop-ups in boutiques. And this is perfectly timed because y'all are going into holiday season, right? And so it really allows you to max sales as you go into holiday. The week after that, week 5, we'll talk about your comms, right? Your communication. And so that's in e-commerce, that's in your digital marketing. How are you communicating the things that we talked about earlier? Your value proposition. How do you communicate to customers that they need you as part of their day to day? In week 6, we'll talk about growth. We're going to do a little bit of numbers. Don't hate us, but we got to do a little bit of numbers for the founders. So we'll talk about your P&L, and we'll also have an opportunity to really refine in this at this point your pitch, that 3-minute pitch to gear us up, to get us ready for that showcase. And then finally, our week 7, we'll have some peer practicing, and then our showcase where we invite the greater population, right? It's a virtual event. So if you've got families out of state, if you've got a co-founder out of state, we can invite them. They join our personalized pitch event. And then after that, we have a big celebration with WakeIF at the very, very end. Drew, anything I missed? Any highlights of the program that you just want to take a second and talk about?
No, that was really great, Tristan. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things about the program is that you all are each other's greatest resource. I hone and last year everyone was like, "Oh my, can we have like more breakout time? Can we talk to each other more? Can we do it?" So that's good. That's something to really look forward to. It's like all this information is fantastic, but the other people in your cohort really makes this experience special. So if you're not excited about any of this content, the people you're going to meet is going to make it even better. So,
All right, let's see if Russell sounds up and running. I'm also answering some of these customized questions in the chat. So Sheila, answer coming your way.
Testing water and my gargle for my a little bit clearer. Here, all right. If I don't come in clear, Tristan, feel free to jump in and talk about the eligibility requirements to pick up where I might be garbled. It's already great. Okay. Hey, Tristan, if you could jump in and go through the eligibility requirements, that'd be
I would, yes,
fantastic.
you got it. Of course, of course. Okay, so eligibility, you can also find these on the website, but just something to come out that there are sales generated, right? That you have traction, that you have gone out into the market and tested that the people want what you've got. So we're looking at sales of 15,000, and that's for the year, not a month, not a week, not a day, but for the year. That your business has participated in things like trade shows or pop-ups in the past year. You have an online presence. Again, we want the participants in this cohort to get the most out of it. And so in order to do that, we're looking for traction. That you fit this business category. So this is a uniquely built program, right, for independent clothing brands, lifestyle brands, small scale manufacturers, artists, maybe artists specifically selling and licensing original artwork, right, that you've handcrafted yourself. And you want to get out there to the broader audiences. And then creative products. We also have had creative businesses like musicians or yoga instructors, right? So really anything that you see falling in the first category, or you can identify yourself as more of a creative, that you're registered in good standing in Washington, D.C., Prince George's County, or Monterey County, Howard County, Arlington County. And the reason for that is we do have that in-person element, right? And so we're really looking to create impact locally in a community. Now, if you happen to be in Florida, it's not that we don't love you. It's just this isn't the program for you. And WakeIF has a ton of other options for you to look into, head to the website and check those out. You're muted, so it's hard. I'm seeing sign language, hand gestures, both.
He's talking to me.
I see.
Hi, everybody. This is Jess Randolph, Associate Creative Director of the Anacostia Arts Center, and also a co-lead here on behalf of the Washington Area Community Investment Fund. So what Rasul was signing was that he wanted me to speak very quickly to the cultural significance of this program. Being here at the Anacostia Arts Center, I've come in contact with so many amazing, creative, product-based businesses. So this program gives us an opportunity to continue to support and invest in the businesses, some of which that pop up here. I see quite a few familiar names in the audience today. And I, want to stress to you that this particular program is everything I've hoped for since we started working together, incubating at the Anacostia Arts Center. So apply. I know that we have eligibility requirements, but I'm going to whisper to you guys, apply anyway, because this is a great opportunity for everyone, and you never know what happens unless you just put yourself out there. So again, please apply. I'm really excited to be running this back with Tristan and Drew, even though you aren't going to see Tristan, but Tristan's a lot of fun. But again, please apply, and I look forward to working with you guys this year. Again.
Russell, I can take this if you want me to. Okay, perfect. All right, so expectations for cohort participants. So it's a commitment of up to 7 to 10 hours per week. So of course, our classes, we're going to be meeting 2 days a week, probably Tuesday and Thursdays. And while that totals up to about 3 hours, there's some work you have to do outside of classes too. That's why it's that 7 to 10 hours for the week. Attend and fully participate in the online group training sessions. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12:30 to 2 p.m. And then participate, and like Tristan was mentioning, you all will be partnered up with a mentor that's been custom found for you. So set up those meetings as soon as possible so they can help support you along your journey because they will give you insights that you probably, or if we ran out of time in a session and you have follow-up questions, your mentor is the perfect person to go to for that. So really lean into the mentorship relationship. And then the brand representation and or sales booth at the Waco community events, the All Art All Night Fusion Festival and Emoja Market. So there will be opportunities that you will be invited to put all these things you've been learning in practice throughout the program as well. So all these expectations are what we're looking for as you go through the program. All right. Oh, and look, my face. So once again, I've kind of already introduced myself. My name is Drew Shaw. I'm a many times over entrepreneur and SeatSpot alum. I've gone through a couple of programs just like this through SeatSpot, so I understand very intimately the power of being empowered and informed about the ins and outs of your business. As business owners, sometimes we get stuck in the business and we don't get a chance to step out and work on the business. So this is a really great opportunity to work on your business when you dedicated this amount of time per week to just really dig in, to ask questions, to be challenged, to get pushed back, because a lot of times we just get stuck in the weeds and we can't really see the blind spots that we have. So this is a really great opportunity for you to not just work on your business, but also network and meet other people who are in a very similar situation to you, because we know that entrepreneurship can sometimes be super lonely. So now you're going to have a built-in community of folks who you can lean on and collaborate with. I know last year we had people who were talking about doing fashion shows together and all kinds of really great projects. So I'm honored to be able to facilitate and bring everything together for everyone during this program as well. All right.
Are we nothing good is okay.
Yeah, still not working. I can read Russell. Like this is easy. So the application has already gone live. So if you haven't had an opportunity to apply, take Jess's advice. Just apply. It won't hurt. Even if you don't think you meet the eligibility requirements, just go ahead and apply and see what happens. You never know. And then interviews will be going through September 5th, and then you'll get notification of the decision by September 12th. And then we'll start the program September 22nd. It'll run through November 5th. Graduation will be November the 6th, and then we'll have a post-program training and support after that through WakeIF, and of course through SeatSpot as well, and your mentor. So you have all these layers of support even after the program ends. All right. So
Let's do this tag team. Let's get Jess here too. I think first and foremost, questions from Q&A. Kara, if you could put in the chat for everybody the link to the application while we go through this. First question, I'm going to send it over to Jess. Jess, can other people from the founders team participate in the accelerator once they are accepted, or is it really only meant for one team member?
So historically, we have allowed organizations that are owned by a duo participate, but from what I understand, only one person can represent the business at a time. Unfortunately, I wish we could, but those are the rules at this moment in time.
Yeah, and what I will add to that too is what we're looking for is consistency, right? So if, for example, you have a team join and your marketing person comes on Tuesday and an hourly employee comes on Thursday and they're not talking to each other, a lot of the lessons learned don't get connected, which really doesn't strengthen the viability of the business. So part of the reason that we want one person who's leading on strategy and leading on design, and then they take that to their broader team and to support them. Now, where your team can absolutely come is to the kickoff event and to your pitch and to the graduation. So there's ways to include your team. But when it comes to instruction and comes to the curriculum, we are looking for one member of the team, doesn't have to be the founder per se, but one member of the team who can really make decisions around the business and apply the knowledge learned in the program. All right, next question. Question 2 is going over to Drew. As a vet of our programs, what area of the program or mentorship helped you most with your business?
Oh gosh. Well, I already mentioned the relationships that you build, right? Like the content is fantastic. Like, I mean, if I do say so myself, but but the relationships you have are going to be the thing that help propel you forward, honestly. Um, for example, through some of the programs that I went through SeedSpot, I still talk to those people to this day. I have a monthly a meeting with a now friend of mine, and we just check in about how our business is going. We bounce ideas off of each other, and we once again identify blind spots that we have so that we can take our businesses to the next level. So that, and the part that I hate the most is talking about finances. But I think that everyone gets like this big light bulb moment whenever we talk about like P&L and get into the numbers. I think one of our best received sessions last year was about like numbers, and it just expanded everyone's capacity in such an incredible way last year. So I would say those two things. Yeah.
All right, next question goes over to Jess. Hey, Jess, do you know if the actual presentation from today and recording will be sent out to those registered?
Well, so it won't be sent out directly to folks who registered today. It will be uploaded next week on our YouTube channel. So keep an eye out on, I think we're uploading to WakeIF's YouTube channel specifically. So keep your eye out for that. Again, this will be accessible, but you're going to have to check out our YouTube.
It's also going to be on our website.
It will also be on our website. Thank you, Russell.
Russell, we can hear you. We just can't see you on Jess's camera. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, all right. Now, last question. And I think either Drew or Jess can answer this one. But they started their business 2 years ago, but haven't quite made 15K annually yet. Should they still apply? Enthusiastic thumbs up. Yes, April, apply. Please, please, please apply. I will also say that WakeIF has a ton of programs, educational programs, right? And I think just getting into the ecosystem with your application is the right move.
Exactly. And I'm going to jump in here, right? Because I think we all know that small business journeys are not linear, right? And most of the folks that you see here, myself, Rasul, Drew, Tristan, we all have very entrepreneurial backgrounds, right? So when you apply, and if you are chosen to interview for this program, you can kind of spell it out for us, fill in the gaps, help us understand kind of like what your revenue story is. So then we can kind of like make a decision based on just all of you, not just that specific number. So again, please make sure that you apply because you never know what can happen if you put yourself out there.
Thank you. Next question. Is it a good time for beauty brands to apply? Anybody can take this one.
Yeah, I mean, If
Mm.
people are buying your stuff, yes. And as far as I know, I don't buy a lot of beauty products because, I'm just naturally like this. But if people are buying your products and people are still buying beauty products a lot, I would say absolutely yes.
Yeah, and I'm getting a
Also,
oh, sorry, Jess,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say really quickly, something to think about. So we have Ascend Retail, but then we also have Ascend Beauty. So if you are someone that might be more specifically in the beauty space, you might want to consider checking out what Ascend Beauty has to offer versus Ascend Retail. Again, if you have it on your heart to apply in general, apply, right? But we do have a very specialized, specific Ascend Beauty cohort. So that's something to think about.
Kiara, if you have access to the application for that program, can you pop it in the chat too, so they can do a comparison of the two?
And again, the catch is though, right? Like you might want to, apply maybe to both programs to see, what happens, right? Because Ascend Beauty is after our cohort, right? So again, a small scale manufacturer who's a beauty maker, you absolutely fit in this cohort, right? But there's another. So there's a little bit of, you got a lot of options, but it's a little bit of a gamble, especially since different programs are competitive for different reasons. So something to think about.
Thank you. Okay, this is a good question. It's if you have a profitable business over 200K per year and you'd like to start a new retail business, so this new idea hasn't launched yet, you do have historical experience. Should you apply for this program under the new venture?
Am I still garbled?
Yeah, you're garbled.
Rasul basically said no. Rasul basically said no, but I saw you react as well, Drew. So
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think, if because per the things we're looking for the ventures coming into this program, once you've gotten to a certain, like on both ends, right? It's like we don't want you to just be starting. We also don't want you to be like killing the game already. You need to be in like that in between spot. And we also don't want you to feel like, oh, this isn't really applied to me, or I already know this, or, I think that there are other ways that you can get what you need because you've done it before and you can be successful and you just kind of copy paste it for a new business. But we have had really successful ventures already who've already been pretty successful coming to the program and do pretty well, but 200K is crazy. I wish. but yeah, I would say this program probably wouldn't be for you if you got that much revenue.
Also, congratulations for having that. And there's now people in the audience that want to know your secrets. So I'll keep that protected. Hey, Drew, I got another question specifically about your business. And you have a couple businesses. I mean, the man's an author, he's got a sock company, he does the things. But do you have a brick and mortar or do you mostly do pop-ups?
Yeah, I do not have a brick and mortar because I do not want that overhead. So pretty much everything that I do is e-commerce. So from my apparel brand to my authorship, I do education consulting, all this other stuff. Everything's online because once again, and this is what, a lot of people think about in this program, right? Like, do I need a brick and mortar? Should I like close it down and just do straight up e-commerce and do pop-ups? Like these are the kinds of questions that we answered during the program. But for me, I'm not trying to pay all those bills, so that is a no.
We had a couple questions around timing. So just real quick, the application is open now, and that application is rolling, right? So we are already starting. I think we've got like around 20 applicants already in the pool. And what that means is once you've applied, you can be invited to an interview, and those interviews are also rolling, and they'll go through September 5th. So the very first question is when do the interviews take place? And I would say now through September 5th. The next question is our decisions and notifications are going to be made to our cohort on September 12th. And then that cohort begins the educational components 22nd through November 5th, right? The graduation is November 6th. Another question we had around timing was is during the winter. This program is during fall. And then we'll have ongoing like alumni-based classes and resources post-program. And oh man, I thought we did so good. And we got all the questions, and then I looked down, we got two more. Okay, so just to follow up on the previous question, the new venture is retail and existing 200K business is consulting. So just to confirm, I should not apply for the new venture. That is what I'm hearing. you would want to apply for if you're interested in the program, you would want it to be around the retail business, not around the consulting business. That also just like from the qualifiers for who are bringing into this cohort, consulting is not one of those archetypes. Oh, this is cute. So, thank you, Sheila. So she wanted to thank Drew. She said, when I think of retail, I think of it in person. So thank you for the e-com clarity. Right. Now, as always, we do have an application and a website with an FAQ. So if we were not able to answer your questions today, please head to the website. Please apply. Even if it feels like a stretch, even if it feels like not right now, you'd rather have applied and have met with a team and learned about what the opportunities are that are a better fit for you than to not have applied. Big thank you to our underwater hero, Rasul, Jess for the assist, Drew Shaw for all your expertise. And as far as next steps, I expect all of you to apply today.
And a quick thing, if you have any questions or any concerns, you can email us directly at programs@wakef.org. Programs@wakef.org. So if you have a specific question, or thought that you want to share, just shoot us a message and we'll get right back to you. Thank you, Tristan. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Rasul. Thank you, Kara, who's been behind the scenes, making sure this whole thing does not catch on fire. So I guess that's it. What do you guys think? Did we cover everything?
Yeah, I think we